Hi guys. All right, so I'm going to do the chapter 9 lecture notes and finish those up, and then also separately make some homework solution videos. And so we had already gone through a good chunk of this, but I know that we had gotten to potentially this problem, and we were doing it on the board last time. And so I want to do it again, get it right so that we can feel good about it. And then go ahead and finish up the chapter 9 notes. So I'm on page 4. This is the one we were doing when we were in class together. This is all at, I'm going to do it in total and then divide by the number of units. And so let's go ahead and drop in the number of units first, which was 25, 15, and 5. And then the machine hours per unit was also given 2,500, 1,500, and 2,000. So direct materials and direct labor were given in total. And so I'm going to take those numbers and copy those and paste them and see if that works. Good. And so these are the direct material and direct labor numbers for each. And then we need to figure out how to apply overhead. So I'm going to go ahead and insert a column to the right for total. And so the total number of units produced looks like 45,000. Let's check that, make sure we have it right. Yep. And then 6,000. I don't really need these totals, but I guess I can do it because I'm here. Ooh. $1,725,000 is the total we're spending on direct material. For direct labor, 675. And then for overhead, we have overhead for machining and overhead for assembly. And so they divided that up at 900 and 450. And so the total for overhead is 1,350,000. Previously, we were taking all of the overhead and assigning it based on machine hours, or all of the overhead and basing it on direct labor costs. So what we're going to do is we're going to assign the overhead based on machine hours for machining and direct labor costs for assembly. So if we wanted to get the amount per machine hour, we would take this 900,000 and we would divide by 6,000 machine hours. I am curious what I was doing wrong on the board the other day, but we're not going to worry about it. 900, we'll be able to unpack it by doing it right now. So for machining, I got $150 per machine hour. And so you can watch what I did to get that, but it was 900,000 over 6,000. And remember that I was just then allocating it out, and I was taking 2,500 of the 6,000 times 900,000 and doing it that way. But things were going astray. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 150 times 2,500, and we're going to get 375 here. And then we'll do 150 times 1,500 and get 225 here. And then we will do 2,000 times 150 and get 300,000 there. And then if we add up those three, they should equal 900. And if I was in Excel, it would just tell me, but I'm not in Excel, so I'll just add them up and it's 900. So everything is good on allocating the machining. So the other way that we were doing that was taking 2,500 divided by 6,000 times 900,000, and we get 375. 1,500 divided by 6,000 times 900,000 is 225, and 2,000 divided by 6,000 times 900,000 gave me 300. So that's what that, I know that this is right. I know it's right anyway, but just making sure that you guys see. So as far as direct labor costs, if I take this 450 and I divide it over direct labor costs, I'll do 450 over 675. And I get 2/3. or 0.67. So like basically that number, I need to keep it in my calculator if I want to not have to worry about rounding concerns. So I can hit memory plus right there so that it's stored in there. I don't know that it actually works, but we'll see. So I'm going to use that number and I'm going to take it times the amount of direct labor hours. I'm going to take 0.67 times direct labor costs, 375. So here I have 250. And then I want to bring that number back. So memory recall times direct labor cost, 225. So 150. And then memory recall times 75,000. And I get 50,000. All right, so these three numbers added together should be 450. Right, so we should have been able to do it as 375 divided by 675 times 450,000. So I don't know what I was doing wrong, but you could take, to get this number, you could take 375 divided by 675 times 450. So you guys have it written down, but it was writing on the board, so I don't have it written down. So I'm going to do total cost, and then I'm going to add one row underneath it to do the cost per unit, because right now I have my cost in total. So I'm going to insert a row under. And I'm going to do this one as total cost and then unit cost so that I can do both. The other option is if you don't have an ability to draw that extra row, just cross it out and put total and then write the unit cost underneath. 1,375,000, 375, and 250 is a total of 2 million. And then if I want to divide that by the number of units, 25,000 units. So here I got 80. So here I'll add up those costs and I'll have 450, 225, 225, and 150, 1,050,000. And then divide it by 15. So here I got 70. That's me. All right. And then over here, I would do 275, 75, 350 for 700,000 divided by the number of units to get a cost per unit. So I got 140. Okay, so total cost, I should be able to add these down or across to get that number right there. So 1,725,000, 675, 900, and 450, 3,750,000. So 2,050,000 and 700,000 is 3,750,000. And then I want to check it one more time on the Jamp one because it's a lot higher than the other ones, but I think that's probably normal. You guys would tell me if I was wrong in class, but I just want to make sure since you guys aren't here to tell me that I'm right or wrong. So, okay, everything is good here. So that is another way to allocate. So, so basically activity-based costing, the two-stage system like is when you're having like more than one. And so you have more than one cost pool and more than one activity. And so it's just kind of what you want to call it. And so, so again, predetermined overhead rate is estimated overhead divided by estimated driver of some kind. Activity-based costing, the first stage is when you take the overhead and you divide up the costs into different groups. And then you have the different groups and you start estimating like what the drivers are for each group, and then how much you expect of the drivers for each group, and then you get a rate for each group. So, all right, so I'm looking at demonstration problem number 3 now, and we have a bunch of information, and we have a bunch of information to be able to drop in here. I don't know if I'm gonna love the way this is set up because I don't always, I need to do some rework on this, on these notes, but let's go ahead and take a look at it. So the cost accountant of ABC Manufacturing attended a workshop on activity-based costing and was impressed by the results. This is so nerdy. After consulting with the production personnel, he prepared the following information on cost drivers. Okay, so what we want to look at is for machining, instead of having one driver, because for machining, we were using machine hours, and for assembly, we were using direct labor cost. So now we're saying within machining, we have two drivers, setup and machining. And within assembly, we have assembly and inspection. So the drivers for each are identified. And so now this is the overhead cost for each. So still notice that our total overhead is 1,350,000 and it's 900 and 450, but now we're taking the 900 and we're dividing it up even more. So setups are going to be based on the number of setups. The number of setups looks like 250. So what we would do is we do 150,000 divided by 250 to get a rate for setups, a rate for machining, a rate for assembly, and a rate for inspection. So we're going to have four different drivers or four different rates. So our setup rate would be the overhead cost. And so again, what we do is this is the formula, just kind of identifying it somewhere along here, estimated overhead divided by estimated driver. Like that's the predetermined overhead rate. It's still the same as before. So for setups, we have 150,000 divided by the total number of setups, which is 250. So it looks like the predetermined overhead rate for setups is going to be 600 per setup. For machining, it's 750,000 divided by the number, so machining is going to be based on machine hours, and so divided by 6,000. And so we'll take 750,000 divided by 6,000 and we get 125 per, and that's machine hour. And I always write my per because if I don't, then I don't know what I'm supposed to take 125 times. So it is an important part. So 750,000 divided by 6,000 is 125 per machine hour. And so because our driver was machine hours. And so for assembly, it looks like 360,000 and I'm going to divide it by 45. 360 divided by 45,000. $8 per direct labor hour. Now notice it wasn't direct labor cost. And so, because before we were using cost, but now we're using direct labor hours. And then inspections are 90,000 divided by the number of inspections in total is 100. So it looks like 90. 900, bad at math. 900 per inspection. Okay, so now we have each of these drivers, and you'll notice that I went ahead and already put them in there, 600, 125, 8, and 900, but I wanted to show you guys how I got it. So we're going to get total costs, and then we'll get our cost per unit again. So direct material and direct labor are going to be from before. So direct material and direct labor haven't changed. And by the way, I kind of like having a total column. So I am going to insert one. Insert column to the right, total, and I'm going to go pick up those totals too. So I think it kind of helps me when I see the totals because the setup cost in total is 150. And then 750. And then 360 and 90. And so then I'm going to just take 600 and then times the number of setups. And so I need the number of setups from here. So 125, 75, and 50. So I will take 125 times 600, and I would put 75,000 here. And then this would be so much easier in Excel. 75 times 600. 45,000. And then 50 setups times 600. And I get 30,000. Okay, so now for machining, the machining are 2,500, 1,500, and 2,000. We've actually used those numbers before. So 2,500 times 125, 312.5. And then, just a second. Hi, Tor.
What up?
I'm making a video. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm I'm coming home. I have an email to write. Nothing interesting happened.
Okay.
So,
All
okay.
right, that sounds good. I'll see you when you get here.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yep.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
187.5 and then 2,000 times 125. 250,000. Now, by the way, I should probably be checking myself. If I was in Excel, I could just highlight those cells and make sure they equal 750, but I'm not. So that equals 750, 75, 45, and 30 equals 150. And I'm just moving my way along. So this 360,000 needs divided up. So it's $8 per direct labor hour. So take $8 times the direct labor hours, 2,500, 1,500, or 25,000, 15,000, and 5,000. $200. What are you doing over there? There we go. 200. Okay, so then 8 times 15,000. 120,000. And 8 times 5,000, which would be 8 times 5 is 40,000. Let's make sure I have it right. 200, 120, and 40. Yep. 900 per inspection. Man, that's a lot. So 900 per inspection. So 50 inspections would be 900 times 50, 45,000. And then 900 times 25, which should be half of that. And then 900 times 25. Okay. So total overhead, and I don't know why I'm bothering adding up overhead. All I really need to do is add up all the costs. So it's important to acknowledge that I'm still allocating 150, 750, which is 900, and 360 and 90 for a total of 1,350,000 of overhead. I'm just spreading it out differently. So I'm adding it up differently. So the total overhead for ACE is 632.5. And then adding that to 375 and 1 million. 2,750,000. Like that, I think. Okay, we'll check it and make sure that it makes sense based on the other. $375. Plus 450 and 225, 1,050,000. And then over here, you have, yeah, I'm just adding up numbers today. 340.25. And then 340.25 is the total overhead plus direct material and direct labor, 692.5. So if I add up this across, total overhead should be 1,350,000, 632,500, 375, and 342,500, 1,350,000. And then total cost would be 1,350,000 plus the direct material and direct labor, 3,750,000, which that number is familiar from before. That's still the total cost, just like before. If I add up these three, it should also be 3,750,000. So 3,750,000. Now I kind of want to know, I guess it's on the next page. Yeah, the number of units, so I can get the unit cost. So the number of units were quite a ways back. So I gave you a place to write them down. 20 or 25,000, 15,000, and 5. For a total of 45,000 units. And to get cost per unit, $2,750,500 divided by 25,000. So now we have 80.3. See it right there, but I'm still going to do my math. Okay, 1,050,000 divided by 15,000, $70. And 692,500 divided by 5,000 is 138.50. Okay. Okay, so now what we have is we had, at one point we did it just based on machine hours. At one point we did it just based on direct labor hours. One time we did it based on machining versus assembly. And then this activity-based costing was 4 drivers instead of 2 drivers. So this one had 1 driver, 2 drivers, 4 drivers. And so we don't see a huge difference in them. Sometimes it's a dramatic difference and sometimes it's not. And so it is important to realize that activity-based costing is the most accurate, but it's also the most time consuming. So you have to balance your time and how you're going to do this. Okay. So this is just comparing traditional versus activity-based costing. So I think we're pretty good here. So what I have here is one last problem to work through with you guys. So let's go ahead and do that one, and then I'll be done with the notes. And so we have Armin Printing has 2 types of customers, those with large orders and those with small orders. That's weird. Armin has determined that marketing costs amount to approximately $36,000. This amount is currently allocated based on sales volume. Sales to small customers are 80 and to large are 120. So what they're saying is that 80 is to small and 120 is to large. So they're allocating marketing based on that. Cost of sales is 60% of net sales. A total of 200 orders were placed last year at a total cost of $8,000. Only 30 of these orders were for small orders. Billing costs around $9,000 for the period for 300 invoices. There's a lot of information here. Determine profit and loss by customer type under traditional and then under activity-based costing. Okay. I have no idea what this is. So I'm kind of excited. Okay, so let's go ahead first and let's talk about sales. We have small customers and large customers, and they said sales to small customers were 80,000. Oh, look at the answers under there. I don't want it to be. I am going to delete it because I want to do this and see what happens. I probably shouldn't have. I probably should have just made it black and called it good, but nope, we're going to do it. So you guys will know if I'm right or not, because you probably didn't delete it. You probably just looked. So 80,000 and 120 for a total of 200,000 in sales. And then it says cost of sales is 60% of sales. So 80,000 times 0.6 looks like this would be 48,000. And then 120 times 0.6 is 72,000. So 48 and 72 is 120,000, giving us gross profit of 80,000. 200 minus 120. Over here, 80 minus 48, 32. And 120 minus 72, 48. Okay, so marketing costs are 36,000. So it says Armin has determined that marketing costs for 36,000. The amount is currently allocated based on sales volume. Okay, sales volume. So it looks like 80 of the 200 is for small. So 80 over 200 is 40% of the 36,000. So here I'm going to put 14.4. Okay, so behind it, you could do 80 divided by 200 times 36,000. That's how I found that number. You could write it as small as you can, because obviously there's not a lot of room, but you see what I'm doing here. So I took 80 of the 200 and took it times the 36,000 in marketing costs. And then the rest of it will be for large, which would be 120 over 200 times 36,000. So 40% here, 60% here. Okay. So now my net income. So revenue minus COGS is gross profit minus selling and admin expenses is net income. So 17.6 and 48 minus 21.6, 26.4. So 80 minus 36 is 44,000. So if I look at this, 17,600 and 26,400 is 44,000. So when I do it using ABC, the first thing I want to point out is that the net income is going to be the same. It's going to be 44,000. It's under here. Let's check. Yep. Okay. So the net income is going to be the same, and our revenue and COGS and gross profit are the same as well. So these numbers are identical from above. So 80, 48, and 32, 120, 72, and 48, 200, 120, and 80. And so now, instead of taking the marketing costs and dividing them up only based on sales. So instead of taking the 44,000 and dividing it based on 40, 60%, we're going to have a whole bunch of different drivers. So in total, I might get some different answers. I'm going to go ahead and delete this so I can show you guys how I would do this. I need to make it all black. I haven't looked, but we're going to do it anyway. So what you see is ordering numbers, ordering dollars, billing numbers, billing dollars, warehouse numbers, not dollars. And so because I want to come up with the driver or whatever, and then, or somehow come up with that and then figure out like how to divide it. So instead of having one driver, just taking all marketing based on sales, I'm gonna base it on 1, 2, 3, 4 different drivers. And that's where they gave us all that extra information. And I was like, what is happening? A total of 200 orders were placed at a total ordering cost of 8,000. So the total ordering cost is 8,000. And there's a total number of orders of 200. Now notice that I put those toward the left and the dollars toward the right, because the number of orders, there's $8,000 worth, and the number of orders for small versus large, only 30 were for large. That's what it says, right? Only 30 of these orders were for large. So 30 for large, so that means the other 170 were for small. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 8,000 and I'm going to divide it based on 170 of 200 and 30 of 200. So you could stop and come up with an amount per order and take it times 170, or you can just take the 8,000 times 170 over 200. And I'm going to put 68 here and the other 1,200 here. So what I did was I took 30 divided by 200. That's 15% of our orders are from large times 8,000. Okay. You can also instead come up with a cost per order and say each order is 40 bucks times 170 and 40 bucks times 30. So that's another way to do it. Okay. So I'm going to do that on each of these things. Okay. Now in total, I'm still going to get 44,000 of income. I'm just splitting it up differently. So billing numbers, billing costs are around $9,000. And 300 invoices were issued. 300 issued. So the number of billings, number of invoices to 300. 240 were for small. So that means only 60 were for large. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to do 240 of the 300 times 9,000 and 60 of the 300 times 9,000. If it makes you happier to give yourself a cost per order, and you can say each order, $9,000 divided by 300 orders is 30 bucks times 240. So you can put 7,200 here. And 9,000 over 300, it was $30 an order times 60 would be 1,800 here. 7,200 and 1,800 is 9,000. The other way to do it is to just take 9,000 times 240 divided by 300 and 9,000 times 60 divided by 300. That was 9,000. Oh, Rosie's having puppy dreams. Times 60 divided by 300. There we go. Okay. Oh, so sweet. Warehousing numbers. Warehousing costs are 4,000. The warehouse handles 4,000 packages, half for small. Okay, so 4,000 packages. Let's read it again. I want to make sure I'm messing up. The warehouse handled 4,000 packages, about half of which were for small costs. Okay, maybe I'm not reading it. About half of which are for small order customers. Okay. So the warehouse cost is 4,000 and it's 4,000 packages, and half of them are for small and half of them are for large. So it's 2,000 and 2,000, which gives us 2,000 and 2,000. It's just split half and half. So it's $1 an order, half and half. All right, and then it says, the balance of the marketing cost was used for company vehicles. The drivers report that 2/3 of the cost and distance traveled has been for servicing small customers. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I need to know how much more to give to shipping because they didn't tell me. So of the 44,000, I've already allocated 8, 9, and 4. So I have 23,000 left to allocate. And what they said that it was, the balance of the marketing costs was for use of company vehicles. The drivers report that 2/3 of the cost and stuff that's going to go to small customers. So I'm going to do 2/3 and 1/3 times 2/3. So, oh man, that's gross. 15,333 and 1/3. 7,667. Okay. So the total of my marketing costs are going to be this one, this one, this one, and this one, because these are not dollars. These are dollars. So I'm going to do 6,800, 7,200, and 2,000 and 15,333. So here I'm going to put 31,333, and here I'm going to put the rest. So, oh wait. I did it wrong. The 44,000 has nothing to do. The 44,000 is the net income. You guys got to stop me. You couldn't stop me because I'm making a video. Okay, I just stopped because 2/3 and 1/3 is right, but the shipping dollars, these numbers added together, total marketing cost, weren't they 36,000? Total marketing cost for 36,000, not 44. So 36,000. And so my total marketing costs are 36,000 because 80 minus 36 is 44. So 36 minus 8 minus 9 minus 4 is 15,000. Ah, that's going to make a nice clean number, isn't it? So 2/3 will be 10 and 5. That's better. Okay, so then 6,800, 7,200, 2,000, and 10,000. 26,000 here. Oops. And then 1,200, 1,800, 2,000, and 5,000. 10,000 here. Yay. So 26 and 10 equals 36. 32 minus 26 is 6,000. And 48 minus 10 is 38,000. And then 6 and 38 is 44. All right, what I want you to notice is compare this operating income to this operating income, the 44,000. And we can acknowledge that 44,000 and 45,000 is good. But when we divide up small versus large, we see we make a lot more money on our large customers than we thought we did. Activity-based costing just takes the costs and splits them up more properly, more accurately. So that's why we do this method. So, all right, so I'm going to pause here and then I'm going to start making some videos for homework and let you guys know what you need to do for homework for next time. So I hope you're all doing well and I'll talk to you soon. You do not need to send me homework, okay? So for this particular class. So, okay. All right. Thank you. I should probably clarify if I'm using this video again in the future, like that you do need to send homework potentially, but for the students of 2021 with the whatever issue we're having, yeah, we do not need you. I'm bad at this.